this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Florida. And today our question comes to us from Ravenwolf. And Ravenwolf has this question. Is it possible for a person to be attuned to more than one element? And what are the consequences of being overly attuned to elements? And my answer to this is that a person may have an affinity for a particular element, but if you're going to be consciously attuning to elements, I really think you should sequentially attune to each element in its own turn, and therefore be attuned to all of them and in balance. And people I know who practice elemental attunement usually do it in this way, and how much time they give to this process varies. I'm aware of magical traditions that focus on this very heavily and will spend an entire year on each element. I know others that make it a less important aspect of their practice, and I know some which make it no aspect of their practice at all. But if you're going to do it, then I think you should do all of the elements, because balance is very important. And if there are any negative consequences to elemental attunement, it's being overly attuned to one particular element and losing your balance. So I would strongly recommend, if you're going to practice elemental attunement, attune to all of them in turn. And if you're overly attuned to one or another, the kind of things that you might experience could be, for example, anomalies involving that particular element. Unusual things happening with fire or water or earth or air. And if you're overly attuned, these may seem to come to you in very odd ways. And the way to correct that is by balancing your attunement with the others. Now, you might think that it would not be bad to be overly attuned to one element, and I'm not saying that it's wrong to have an affinity for a particular element. But to be overly attuned to it is to invite it to wreak havoc in your life. If you're overly attuned to fire, for example, fire may come to you when you don't want it. And fire can be very dangerous in that way. If you're overly attuned to water, you could find yourself experiencing all kinds of water problems. And again, the best way to handle this is to balance out your attunement with the other elements. And how do you attune yourself to an element in the first place? Well, there are a number of things you can do, but they revolve around meditation and communing with the element. In a physical sense, you would meditate upon the element, and particularly in the presence of a physical representation of the element. It's also worth bearing in mind that, magically speaking, when we talk about elements, we're not necessarily talking about the physical manifestations that we associate with them. I'm a great believer in the idea that when we talk metaphysically about elements, we're really talking in the end about processes, and we represent them through physical substances, but it's those things that those substances represent that are found in all things in creation, not literally the physical substance. So these would be my thoughts on the matter. I hope you find them helpful, and until next time, may you blessed be. Reverend Don, super omnibus of incantations and invocations for all occasions. Marianne Kay and I created this massive compendium of magic and artwork for you to use in any way that you would like. There are literally hundreds of spells and hundreds of illustrations, which can be mixed and matched and used in many different ways. Check it out now at Witchghoul Store.
Hello, this is Lady Crystal. I am here with you today to offer today's prayer for peace. I invite you to join me as I do this and to add your energies to this prayer. I pray for peace. I pray for love. I pray for stability. I pray for this nation where I live, and I pray for the world. May peace, true peace, positive peace, reign everywhere. I thank you.
Store.com